Hey, Maria P. Lori Vallow is wearing a light pink shirt, y'all. She's wearing a light pink shirt. She wants to look soft. She wants to try to drown out the damn serial killer crap that she's got going on. She's using a hairband too. I probably need one too. Uh, she just got seated and is talking and smiling with Jim Archibald. She's got so much to smile about, doesn't she? That damn hussy. Good morning, everyone. Today is day 2 of the trial of Lori Hussey Daybell. I didn't think I was going to go down this road, but I obviously can't stay away from it. Y'all know how I am. Hello, Diane Hannah and Katara. And who else we got on here? Y'all, I'm telling you, Liz White, Becky Slaughter, Diane Klutz, Renee, Ashley Kane. Good morning, Ashley. CC Johnson, 67. Y'all, don't I look precious? Don't I look just precious? Hey, I'm a real live woman. Private Eye 91, Maria P, Dawn Spencer. Y'all, we're going to go through this morning, as many of y'all are very well aware of. Ray Hermosillo is on the hot seat today. Well, I don't know about that, but I do know the man knows everything there is to know about this case. As many of you recall, at Chad's preliminary hearing, he gave absolutely bombshell testimony. It broke my heart. I know that Cresha K. Easton of Difficult Research and Kay and Larry, they really think a lot of the law enforcement. Ray Hermosillo, Detective Ball, Stubbs, Hope, all these guys, they got out there. They had to work this case. And I'm telling you, it's something that will probably stick with them for a long time. Everyone is getting seated. Detective Ray Hermosillo is expected to testify this morning. He was a key part of the Rexburg investigation when JJ and Tylee were missing, says Daughter of Scotland. Thank you so much for being here, Daughter of Scotland. And again, thank you for yesterday, along with KCL. I appreciate all the help that y'all gave me. Y'all know I ain't good at this crap, but I'm going to try for all of y'all, for all the, 2+ years we've been together. I can just do what I can do, basically. Good morning, Tina. I brought my coffee. I added a little shot of double espresso in it. It goes from that to, my Red Bull, which, it doesn't wire me up. It actually calms me down. Can you believe that? Y'all think OKJ needs caffeine to calm me down? It all has to do with your metabolism. And I've got one of those metabolisms that's probably going to get me an early grave. Who knows? Anyway, everyone is getting seated, as Daughter of Scotland has said. Expected to testify is Ray Hermosillo. I've got the 2 screens up here, y'all, for today's play-by-play. Again, I'm going between Justin Lum and Nate Eaton. If you have any other live updates that I'm not keeping up with on other news media organizations or whatever, feel free to put that in the comments for us all to get the information that we want to get out of this. So anyway, I got to listen to the opening statements last night. Lindsay Blake, the way she would end her sentences, it was almost like every sentence she gave, it was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. We knew the story. We knew a lot of the evidence. We knew all this. But for her to come out like that and lay it all out, and the way that the tone of her voice, I thought she did an excellent job. Now, on the flip side of that, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, but Archie went up there and basically talked about himself, talked about Thomas. That he talked about everything, but we're going to tell y'all everything there is to know about us, and he'd go off on these little itty bitty tangents, and I was like, oh my gosh. And it kind of summarizes it for me when the news organizations, and for those who haven't seen it, there was an interview of Archie and Thomas leaving the courthouse for lunch. And now I know where one of y'all had said that Lori was having bologna sandwiches. Archie looked into the over to the guys, because they were the media, and saying, we're going to go to lunch. What are y'all having for lunch? Says the media. And then they asked him about Lori, and he says she's probably having a bologna sandwich downstairs. And it just kind of summed up. I mean, this is just me. I believe Archie's just resigned. He was so used to cutting those plea deals. That's what he specializes in. That's why you got Thomas up here fumbling around. That's just my opinion. Thank you, CC Johnson 67. CC Johnson 67, you think Archie did amazing? I think Brandon did good. I mean, maybe that's who you're talking about. I don't think Archie did a good opening statement at all. Maria P says the defense attorney was slow, monotone voice, would totally tune out the jury. He sounded bored, says Vivian Lundgren. Adair says opening statement is what I've been saying all along: sex, money, and power, mostly about the sex for Chad. Well, I'll tell you what, they sure did put the narrative out there. Did the state do a good job of that? I'm telling you, we've all been talking about it. Lori and Chad's so busy getting their damn rocks off and trying to get money. It's ridiculous, y'all. Good morning, language of horses. Okay, CC Johnson 67. Yes, she did an excellent job, I think. What can we expect from Hermosillo? He and other detectives conducted the initial welfare check at Lori Vallo's townhome in Rexford. The welfare check, y'all, November 26th of 2019. But it was Alex Cox and Chad Daybell who were at the, I guess the apartment complex. Says a lot, y'all. That's okay, CC Johnson 67. Liz Witt says, I agree with you about Archie. The state of Idaho doesn't pay for Johnny Cochran. If I were Lori, I'd be extremely worried. I think he has, in his own way, Archie has let everyone know that Lori just wanted a trial, y'all. I told y'all. She's a damn drama queen. She's got to have it her way. Well, she's getting it her way right now. And Kay Woodcock did an excellent getting up there and testifying and doing all she did. And Brandon, and I haven't gotten a chance to get to Brandon's testimony. I was trying to soak in the opening statements and Kay Woodcock, her testimony. So I'll do a little here and there, but I hope all of y'all are caught up. We're waiting on Ray Hermosillo as we speak to go on the stand. Here we go. Lori's brother Alex told the police that JJ was with his grandma Kay, but we know Kay called for the welfare check, says Justin Love. Daybell acted like he didn't really know Lori and said he didn't have her number. And for those just joining us, just remember this. Lori Vallow is wearing a light pink shirt. She is also using a hairband. She just got seated and is talking and smiling with old Jim Archibald. So let's just wait and see what happens. Hi, Donald. Yeah, you're right. I believe that, CC Johnson 67. Vivian Lundgren says, we need to pray for Kresha and her family. She barely held it together last night. Yeah, Vivian, I was so busy yesterday evening. I'd spent most of the day with y'all. And I had some things I had to do, but I did repost Cresha's live stream on the community wall. I haven't really gotten a chance to listen to it yet. There was just a lot that had to be taken in yesterday, and I couldn't be more proud of her, really. Good morning, Kim Richardson, Miss DMC. Let's see. Yeah. Paula says good morning to all the Rays. Y'all, I'm telling you, they started out strong yesterday. I really think that from here we're looking at, and I believe Nate Eaton had said something about it, that this is probably going to be an all-day thing for Hermosillo. As we all recall, he was there from the get-go. He's going to have to authenticate certain evidence and get it in for the state. He's going to have to speak of all these things that he had to do as an investigator. And if you think about it, remember back at Chad's preliminary hearing, it was Ray Hermosillo that authenticated the birth certificate of Tylee and JJ. Remember that? It was one of the first things. Rob Wood out of the gate at Chad's preliminary hearing, he started entering evidence into that. But this time around, Kay got to do that, and I was glad because she did such an excellent job. She really did. Well, thank you, Angel. I'm glad y'all are here. I'm going to go up. I guess we'll go until lunch, take a break. Then I'm going to try to get into the afternoon, but I do have an appointment. I'm going to have to leave here at about 3:30 my time. Idaho is one hour behind my Tennessee time. So I'm going to do what I can, y'all. Obviously, nothing is more informative than the audios themselves, but we're not getting them till later on in the evening. And in some ways, I think it's a good thing that we are here doing the play-by-play, because when we do hear the audio, when we do hear it, it'll all it'll be kind of re-emphasized. Paula says, I bet Lori will be flirtatious with the detectives. And also that's something that just came into my mind, Paula. They're going to have to, there has to be, Hermosillo, possibly his body cam. We might hear that. I'm not sure who's testifying after him, but today I'm pretty well stuck that Hermosillo is going to be on the stand all day. In some ways it's kind of interesting that Thomas didn't take a whole lot of time yesterday with either Kay or Brandon. But this is a whole different situation with Hermosillo. I guess, this is just a guess, y'all, that maybe Thomas, if he's smart enough, will try to poke holes in the investigation and say they did some kind of sloppy job. Y'all know how that goes. It happens every damn time. It really does. Daughter of Scotland says Larry Woodcock is here in the courtroom with some family members, but Kay Woodcock is absent. That's interesting. Does anybody know if Kresh is in there right now? Adair says the defense opening was awfully weak and bad. Yeah, it was. You could feel the whole cloud of, hey, I'm Archie. I've been doing this shit forever, and Thomas is a good guy, and we're just letting you jurors know that the taxpayers are paying for us. We hope you pay your taxes. Give me a break. Give me a break. I don't give a damn how much it takes. How much money the taxpayers are out. They're going to have to house this damn hussy in prison. They're going to give her medical. They're going to give her, whatever they give them. They're 3 meals a day. Don't get me started. It's too damn early. Krisha said last night that Kay wasn't going to be there today. Okay, Maria P. Um, and if any of y'all would like to share with me, because like I said, I didn't get to that live stream. Y'all, I was absolutely spent by yesterday evening. I do have it on our community wall. But is she doing okay, everybody? Is Krisha doing okay? Did she see those autopsy photos, with the states opening? Is she okay? Is she seem like she's together? Please tell me, y'all, that Krisha's doing fine. I worry that the jury won't understand that Lori was never a good mother, making it appear that she was under Chud's spell. Well, I'll tell you what, it don't matter. It don't matter if the juror sees evidence that she was horny for Chad Daybell. We're talking about children here. We're talking about murder. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn what she thought of Chad Daybell. Those were her children. Those were her children, and she murdered them. Lori is under Lori's spell. We can't blame anyone but Lori, says Dodging Bullets. I get what you're saying, y'all, about, maybe it's going to look like that and everything. But I'll tell you what, the law is the law. And when the juror has to go through those jury instructions and say what is conspiracy to commit murder and what is first-degree murder and all these financial crimes, all of the stuff that surrounds that, whether it's the religion, whether it's that fat-ass chin, whatever it is, it ain't going to make a difference. Because she should have never murdered her children or helped conspire to murder Tammy. I'm still refreshing this, y'all. Yeah, well, I just couldn't see myself. It's just Robbie in Ray Room for the next couple of hours. And I didn't want to have to set up a computer in there, to refresh and do all this. So I'm here at my desk, KJ's business desk that looks like somebody just freaking threw up on it with all this papers and everything else. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Oh, is it Larry's birthday? Well, we're all going to have to, I'm going to have to put something on the community wall. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Yeah, it's just Robbie. My office is in this 10-foot ceiling room in here. It's kind of open. I'm one of these type people that's got to have some air, Let's see. Hello, NF Mom. From Pinedale, Wyoming. Oh, wow. It's just Robbie. You and Larry Woodcock have the same birthday. Well, happy birthday, It's just Robbie. I hope you're having a good day. Christina09 says there's something awful about feeling like you have went through so much grief in the court systems. Have no empathy unless you're a dang murderer. Yeah, I know, Kristen. I was just glad that Thomas didn't attack Kay or Brandon yesterday. He tried to give some crap, to try to make her look a little bit uncredible when she said that it only was 2.5 hours from Lake Charles to Texas there where she would drive it. And Thomas tried to say, well, I Googled it. And it says 6.5 hours or something. This man doesn't know what this woman had to do in order to be with her grandson and to help her brother out. Give me a break. Hey, it's just Robbie. When you hit a certain age, last Saturday I hit 52. It just makes me that much better of a person. See, I'm not an old person. I'm just getting older, That's just basically what it comes down to. I'm waiting here. Okay, here we go. Larry Woodcock is here in the courtroom with some family members, but Kay Woodcock is absent. I'm told there are 16 people watching the trial in Madison County Courthouse room this morning. John Pryor, Chad Daybell's attorney, is in the courtroom again this morning. We're waiting for the jurors to be brought in. Okay, here we go. The same family members of the victims are here as well for the most part. Annie Cushing has a laptop today. Yesterday, she took notes all day for opening statements and testimonies. So we're just going to keep going, and hopefully this will all get started here shortly. Kay did a fantastic job on testimony, says Jennifer Esslinger. I'm glad that is behind her. Loved how her last words were a God thing. Yes. You know, and Thomas probably was trying to delve into that to say, well, look, you believe in God. My client believes. Well, I'll tell you something. Lori didn't believe in the, Almighty God, and this is just an opinion. She's too damn busy. She's too busy calling herself a lowercase g. Give me a break. Give me a break. I'd like to get out of North Cal and go into North Nevada, Lord, of opportunity for my small business and maybe buy a house. It's chilly up there, meaning not so hustle and bustle, says It's Just Robbie. I wonder if Pryor is on the clock for these appearances, says Hope Grace. Well, I'll tell you what, he's taking the time, is he not? He didn't have no time, no other time, but here he is. He's over here watching this trial, and he should, really. I don't know if he's getting paid to do it. I'm assuming he'll get paid. Chad will have to somehow pay for it. He needs to, because the bottom line is Chad and Lori are even Steven. Stephen Boyce, Judge Stephen Boyce has entered the courtroom. Prosecutors Rob Wood, Rachel Smith, and Lindsay Smith are here. Okay, y'all, it's fixing to start up. Thank y'all for being patient with me, knowing that I can't believe I'm doing this. I didn't see myself doing this. Obviously, the audio will be out later. We'll get to deal with that. And for those that really want to listen to someone who is a victim's family member, Crescia K. Easton, A Difficult Research. She did a live stream after day one of the trial. So please, if you want to really get justice through understanding, you gotta see how the reactions and be there, supportive of the victim's family members. That's me. That to me is part of justice through understanding. So go to Difficult Research. Crescia K. Easton has released a live stream from last night. Get it and listen to it. She's incredible. Isn't the average cost of a murder trial for a defendant $1 million? I think I heard that's what Mark Garridos charged Scott Peterson. How is Chad paying for this? I don't know, y'all. I have no idea. I know he signed his house and over to his attorney, and Emma and them, they rent it. So I don't know how all that's going to work out. I guess that was probably something that he worked out. He probably told John Pryor, hey, I'll sign my house over to you, but can we please, I've got my kids and all this and that. See, he was so concerned with making sure his kids could rent it and all that. But, he wasn't concerned one bit with his, technically, he was the stepfather of JJ and Tylee. No, he tried to give them a permanent address in his backyard in Shallow Graves. That son of a bitch. All right, here we go. The state calls Ray Hermosillo as its next witness. Madison County Prosecutor Rob Wood will conduct questioning. And y'all, as y'all recall, Rachel Smith, she took the helm on Brandon. And so you see the team dynamic. Lindsay Blake gives the opening. You got Rob Wood with Kay Woodcock. Then you have Rachel Smith questioning Brandon Boudreaux. Now you have, and trust me when I say y'all already know this, but I'm going to re-emphasize it. Today is going to be Ray Hermosillo Day all day long. He's got so much evidence that has to come in through his investigation. He was the top investigator. Candace Parr says Brandon's testimony was powerful. Yes, it was. I think she did good. It's just Robbie. I think Lindsay Blake, the way she spoke and the content of her words, it was like a two-edged sword, in my opinion. I hope the state will go after the alibi Lori gave. She knew that the murder was happening. So did Melanie Gibb and David Warwick, says Kristen 09. Just remember, Kristen 09 and the rest of y'all, Rob Wood came out to say, hey, y'all turned in your alibi late, but I'm just telling you now, we've got a rebuttal case, which is it's the state, then the defense, then a rebuttal case. And he names Zulema, Melanie P., Melanie Gibb, and some records through Apple and other records to rebut Lori's alibi. And that was one thing that was brought out from the defense, one of the only things about her alibi. But the bottom line is that it doesn't matter if she was right there. According to Idaho law, she didn't have to be in the room, helping murder or even being in the room. She absolutely, according to Idaho law, she is screwed. Okay, here we go. Hermosillo is a detective with Rexburg PD. He has 22 years in law enforcement. Hermosillo has been a detective for 4 years before he was on patrol and a patrol supervisor. He's been in law enforcement with the Rexburg Police Department solely. That's all he's ever been, is at Rexburg PD. So we know Ray Hermosillo. To me, I've told y'all, he is a hero in this case. Y'all have got some interesting comments going on. All right. Okay, so Hermosillo was tipped off to a Jeep that was involved in a Gilbert attempted homicide. And y'all know that was Brandon Boudreaux. He had a conversation with Gilbert PD. Rexburg Police Department was asked to find the Jeep and recover it. Rexburg PD also was asked to do intermittent surveillance. Remember, we talked about that 2 years ago. We're like, wonder what they found out during this intermittent surveillance. Maybe we're going to find out this today, y'all. Then a picture is put into evidence. This is a photo evidence of the Jeep obtained by Fox 10. So this has not been entered into evidence in today's courtroom, but Justin Lum is providing that picture. Many of y'all know that was Charles Vallow's Jeep that Tylee drove. So this is where he is wanting to start his narrative and testimony. Hermosillo contacted Gilbert police about the Jeep, and they asked him to conduct surveillance on Lori Daybell's apartment on Pioneer Road. They observed Chad and Lori, but they never saw a teenage girl or young boy with Lori. I imagine they saw a lot, don't y'all think? If they were doing intermittent surveillance on Chad and Lori, they were probably sitting there horn dogging each other. God only knows, making out, acting like idiots. I think at one point in Chud's smutty novel there with James and Elena, They're making out in a car. I mean, come on, y'all. These two people are nasty. Nasty. Okay. Hermosillo says police seized the Jeep on November the 4th from the residence. Gilbert police came to Rexburg on November 18th to serve a warrant on the Jeep data information system. That is when Hermosillo first heard about JJ and Tylee. Now let's stop here for a minute. The bottom line is if from November 4th, that was the day before Chad and Lori got married in Hawaii, they had to have known. Alex had to have known. Lori had to have known. Chad had to have known that that Jeep had been impounded, because you don't just say, oh, well, we've got a Jeep here in the parking lot and now we don't. They knew then, y'all, that shit was about to get real. Rexburg Police Department was told JJ's grandmother was concerned that she had not heard from JJ in a while, and police in Arizona were going to check if he was down there. On 11/4 of 19, which I just said, Rexburg seized the Jeep. On 11/18, y'all, is when Hermosillo says they were made aware of concern for JJ through Kay Woodcock. That's when police learned of the two siblings, and that was November the 18th of 2019 was when the police were like, where are the children? On November 25th of 2019, a welfare check was discussed. So the day before they did the welfare check, they discussed it, and the request came from Gilbert Detective Ryan Pillar. The next day is when they conducted the check at Lori's townhome. And I'm just so damn curious if they're going to show body cam on this, y'all. Hermosillo says that day he sees Alex Cox and Chad Daybell unloading a pickup truck, y'all. Wood asks if he spoke to Alex, and he says yes. Hermosillo tells the guys he is there for a welfare check and asks about JJ. And the jurors are listening to this, y'all. Just think about it. Rexburg Police Department was told JJ's grandmother was concerned that she'd not heard back from JJ in a while, and police in Arizona were going to check if he was down there. And I know I said that before, but I'm just trying to reiterate this, okay? Both Daybell and Cox looked at each other with a blank look. Hermosillo asked again where JJ was. Cox said JJ was with Grandma Kay. Hermosillo told him that's unlikely since Kay called for the welfare check. This is all well known. Remember Hermosillo's testimony at Chad's preliminary hearing. But there are things I didn't know. Namely, this is what I had gotten out of Chad's preliminary hearing. I thought Chad and Alex were just standing out in the yard. Remember, we've talked about it. But they were actually unloading a truck. Now, I wonder what they were unloading out of that truck. And why weren't they unloading something out of a truck into the storage unit? What were they trying to do? Do you think maybe they were loading up the kids' things to put into storage when the police came up? Or were they taking stuff out from, whether it be the Jeep seat or whatever? They were absolutely unloading. They were not loading. I don't think, maybe I misunderstood that. Let's see. Unloading a pickup truck. So this whole bullshit about it was a planned move and all this crap, well, you would think they would be loading instead of unloading a pickup truck. Both Daybell and Cox Hermosillo makes it clear both Cox and Daybell seemed to act weird. They told him Lori Vallow was in apartment 107, which was a bald-faced lie. Daybell claimed to not have her phone number, even though he'd been married to her for a couple of weeks. Hermosillo said, I assumed he was lying because I knew they were close. So, again, he's talking about Alex Cox, but I guess he's fixing to get to the thing about Chad saying he didn't have her number, even though he's married to her. Give me a break. Hermosillo saw Chad Daybell driving off in his car, and he went and stopped him. He asked him about the last time he saw JJ and how he knew Lori, and Chad said he hardly knew her and met her a couple of times. What a crock of shit, y'all. Hermosillo and Detective Hope tried apartment 107 but had no luck. They did other door knocks and requested more police to come to the area. He and Hope began, this is Hermosillo, and Hope began knocking on other doors, and Hermosillo observed Chad leaving in his Chevy Equinox. Hermosillo stopped him and asked Chad when was the last time he saw JJ. Chad said it was October in apartment 107 with Lori Vallow. Now, let's stop here. He was murdered September 22nd or 23rd, and yet he's saying he saw JJ in apartment 107 with who? His mother, which tells you everything you need to know. That number one, it's a bald-faced lie. But number two, isn't it interesting that Chad says, yes, I saw JJ and he was with his mother. I mean, yes, that was a lie, but think about that. Just think about that. This is a man who says he didn't hardly know her, but yet he knows that he wants the police to believe that he saw JJ with Lori. Now, how does, this man, he's just dumber than a damn box of rocks. Hermosillo knew Chad was lying because police were aware that Chad and Lori had recently got married. Hermosillo asked Chad for Lori's phone number, and he said he didn't have it. Eventually, Chad gave Hermosillo the number and said he originally didn't provide it because he thought Hermosillo was accusing him of something. Y'all think? You think Chad really figured it out? We knew Chad and Lori had married 2 weeks prior to my contact with him, says Hermosillo. Lori and Chad had gotten married in Kauai November 5th of 2019, less than 3 weeks after Tammy Daybell died. And by the way, while we're thinking of it, remember when I discussed with y'all whether or not the judge would allow Charles's murder and the fact that Lori is charged with conspiracy to commit murder on Charles Vallow, whether he would let that in? If you'll notice Kay and Brandon's testimony, they say nothing, Charles Vallow was murdered. Or Kay didn't say anything like, well, yeah, she's been charged in Arizona for conspiracy to commit murder of my brother. None of that came in. All they talked about was he died. The funeral arrangements, they only let them do a little bit of that. They let a little bit of that come in, but not that he was murdered or anything. I thought that was interesting. Hermosillo called Lieutenant Ron Ball after the talk with Chad. He said something was off with the situation. Ball showed up with Detective Dave Stubbs, and they knocked on number 175 again, Lori's home, but no answer. They tried 174 where Melanie Boudreaux lived, but no luck. Melanie is Lori's niece. Wood asked Hermosillo if they got a warrant for that day, and Hermosillo says they did not, But police knew something was wrong regarding the whereabouts of JJ. Hermosillo called Detective Ron Ball and said he was concerned about JJ's whereabouts. Other detectives were called and they began knocking on doors at the complex. Ball told Hermosillo to go to the prosecutor's office for a search warrant while the other officers stayed on the scene to wait for Lori, Alex, or Melanie Boudreaux. Detectives would finally be able to reach Lori Vallow and get her to open the door to her home. There is body cam footage we know of, says Justin Lum. Now, I don't know if they're going to enter this into evidence. I guess we'll find out here shortly. I would assume this is what they're going to do. Police did not get a warrant that day because Lori returned Detective Hope's call and agreed to open the door to talk with Detective Ball and Detective Stubbs. They were wearing body cameras that recorded the interaction. Here we go. Wood asked, based on the conversation with police about body-worn camera video, what did you learn? And this is when the defense objects, claiming it's hearsay. Hermosillo says he's basing his testimony on what he saw on the body cams. John Thomas says this is hearsay. What a ignorant. That's ignorant. This is a law enforcement investigator. He can obviously talk about what he saw on the body cam. But I guess they've got to do something, huh? All right, so now they're having a sidebar with counsel. Judge is talking mainly to Wood and Thomas. Hermosillo begins to describe what he saw on the body camera footage, but Thomas objects and says it's hearsay. Attorneys now in a sidebar conference with the judge. Sidebars are private and white noise is played in the courtroom so nobody can overhear what is said. Well, thank you, Danielle. I'm glad you're here, y'all. This is for all the people that can't get on the community wall or are having problems or maybe see and hear things differently. This is an open channel. This channel's set up in commemoration of the victims and the victims' family members, and it is also a celebration of the RAYS. Research, analysis, and you, folks. That's what RAY stands for. If you're in the RAY, you are seeking justice through understanding. What does that mean? That means whatever the hell you want it to mean. How's that sound? You can think anything, be you. Just as I always say, y'all, you are the only you you're ever going to be. And your perspective is your own. So they're in the middle of a sidebar, and we're waiting on what they decide. I am assuming that the state is saying, hey, we're letting him testify about this. Number one, he's an investigator. And number two, this is a way for them to, I'm assuming now, I could be wrong, they're going to introduce as evidence the body cam footage. That's what I'm assuming. Well, Donna, we love you. I'm glad you're here. The defense objections have been ridiculous. I just don't think they have anything else. All they can do is try to keep testimony out. Well, that's a good point, Candace. They should just play the footage of the body cam for the jury. And I agree with that, Karen. Not only is Lori's natural color dark, but she was bleaching Tylee's hair since she was a toddler. Yes, we knew that. How can body cam by cops be used to prosecute, but defense says it's hearsay? This is desperation on steroids, says Jennifer Esslinger. Of course they're going to try to keep it out, but there's no way they can. That is part of the discovery that's been turned over. I'm still waiting for a refresh, y'all, so just bear with me. There are going to be moments that old KJ is going to run her mouth, but I will keep on top of everything. Also, Justin wants everyone to know, which we already do, that Kay Woodcock is not here today. And I don't blame her. She needs a break. That was very emotional. She probably needs her rest. She did excellent. She did an excellent job yesterday. I was so proud of her. I was absolutely so proud of her. She's so beautiful and wonderful, and her personality shines through. And I know that brings me comfort, y'all, to know when Kay was on the stand yesterday that the jurors had to have seen the beauty and the love and the commitment to get justice that Kay has. Oh, I'm so proud of her. So they're still in a sidebar, y'all, and I guess they're trying to work out what, I don't understand how Thomas can say that's hearsay when you've actually got the evidence. And yes, they could just play it and let the jury just hear it for themselves, but he's the investigator who went over the evidence of the body cam, so he knows what that says. If there is an objection to hearsay, the bottom line is that it's a crock. It really is. He is the lead investigator. So we'll just wait and see what they do here in a minute. Maybe the judge will compromise on this. I don't know, but I can tell you this. Woods back to questioning Hermosillo. The detective says he contacted Gilbert Police Detective late that evening and said they still did not know where JJ was. Another detective then reached out to Melanie Gibb to see if JJ was with her, and Gibb said he was not. Now, let's just back up a minute. She originally lied to police. I don't understand why, Melanie Gibb to see if JJ was with her. Gibb said he was not. At first she did, and she bought plenty of time. The day of the welfare check, she was saying he was with her. When he wasn't with her, the woman is absolutely pathetic. Back on the record, Hermosillo tells Wood he checked in with Detective Pillar and Gilbert to let him know JJ had not been located. Meanwhile, Gilbert Police Department was looking for Lori's best friend, Melanie Gibb. The next day, on 11/27 of 2019, the day after the welfare check, y'all, Rexburg PD obtained search warrants for 3 townhomes, apartments, Lori's, Alex's, and Melanie Boudreaux's. First, Rexburg Police Department went into apartment 175. There were couches, dishes in the sink, food in the pantry. It appeared like people lived there, but Hermosillo says there were no clothes in the closets, just empty hangers, and no people in any of the apartments. And you know, Lori had to take all her prostituting clothing with her. She had, I mean, she didn't have a problem buying herself all the little yoga pants and the damn freaking damn leggings and all of the stuff that she had. And in fact, it's well known that she had a regular bed that sat, on a regular bed, not a mattress laying on the floor. But see, that was her children's life. Her children's things were in storage, don't you know? After she murdered them, I don't know why in the world these detectives did not put two and two together right at that time. But to know there were no clothes in the closet, just empty hangers, Lori had to take her little luggage with her. She had to get ready. They were taking off to Hawaii. Obviously, we know the kids couldn't go with her. Would ask anything of interest that you find in apartment 175. Hermosillo says there were several guns in the garage and several army-type knives, several empty magazines for different weapons. Now, let's just stop there for a minute. This is the day after the welfare check. We know that after the police left on the 26th of November, a neighbor saw Lori and Alex throwing stuff in the back of Alex's vehicle. Does somebody want to explain to me why Alex didn't think it was important enough to go and get those guns and the army-type knives and the empty magazines for different weapons? Why he didn't take that along with him if this was such a planned move, don't you know? I mean, I don't know. I'm a gun owner, and guns are expensive. And I just don't see how you'd leave something like that behind. And remember this, y'all. Alex went to Las Vegas he went to Arizona. Yeah, when he left that night, took Lori, they left out the day of the welfare check. He made his way back to Arizona, and from there they left to go to Las Vegas, him and Zulema, to get married. So I don't quite understand why the guns were not put into the storage units, why they were left in the garage. That's very interesting. In Lori's apartment, police found a rental agreement for a storage unit. Time to get another search warrant. Rexburg PD searched Melanie Boudreaux's apartment. No JJ, no other individuals were inside. And 107, which was supposed to be Alex's apartment, was completely empty. You know why? They rented that apartment to be the kill zone. That's what I think. That's what I think. Alex was so far up his damn sister's ass, he wouldn't have stayed in 107 by himself. He was over there with his sister all the damn time. That apartment was strategic. Because you think about this. When they moved to Rexburg, he eventually, a week out of that, he rents that apartment. Well, why not give that apartment to Melanie Boudreaux? Why did they have to have 3 apartments? And on top of it all, we've discussed it. Who the hell has the money to rent? Usually have to do first and last month's rent. How they had the money to do what they did, I'm assuming Charles Vallow's money that Lori stole was what was used. Wood asked what Hermosillo found in the storage unit, and Hermosillo says bikes, winter clothes, photos, and family photos sewn onto a blanket. And we knew this. Police found a few toys, items belonging to JJ in Lori's apartment, y'all, including a prescription medication. They also found several guns in the garage of apartment 175, several army-type knives, empty magazines for various weapons. There were things of that nature in the garage that caught our eye. And remember, y'all, I'm going back and forth through Nate and Justin. So some of it is going to sound the same, but I'm trying to get both of their perspectives because sometimes they add to it. And so I want to make sure that we're down packed on that. Also, Nate Eaton says Hermosillo says in apartment 175 they found a rental agreement for storage unit in Rexburg. Police obtained a search warrant for the storage unit, and then Nate shows a picture of what was in the storage unit. We are all well aware of this, but just for those that want to see again, this is a picture of what was in there. So then also, Nate Eaton also tweets out the story of where you see pictures of, y'all remember the notorious video evidence, surveillance video evidence at the storage unit. And I say is the perfect picture of conspiracy because you got Chad, Lori, and Alex, one way or the other, working in tandem together. So there you go on that. An exhibit of evidence is being reviewed by the defense before being admitted by the prosecution. 7A-7K are the titles of each exhibit. Hermosillo reviews them. Now, I don't know what they are, but I'm sure we'll find out here in a minute. Okay, 7A and 7K being the titles of each exhibit are the photos of the outside and inside of apartment 175, Lori's townhome. Very interesting. Very interesting. I wish I could see them. It's aggravating as hell. We're dealing with this. Before admitting these, the defense has questions. They ask about the date of the search warrants being obtained and what Hermosillo was looking for. Hermosillo says the date that they got these search warrants, and he tells Thomas that he was looking for JJ. Thomas says, "Do you believe a crime was committed and that's why you busted down the door?" Here we go, y'all. Here we go. This is Thomas trying to shit all over the dang investigation into the whereabouts of JJ and Tylee. Here we go. Although Thomas has objected to it, the judge overrules the objection to admitting 7K. All exhibits 7A-K are admitted. So Thomas is pretending to be a defense attorney, y'all. You know it. I know it. It's ridiculous. I guess they got to at least let them know. Okay, here we go. 7A is shown on the screen is the front door of apartment 175. We see the entire apartment. So they are now showing these exhibits. State asked to admit, and the judge overrules Thomas on that and allows these images, 3 images of the apartment complex and interior photos taken the day the search warrant was executed, and the pictures are admitted. And just so y'all know, when Thomas wants to say kick down the door and all this shit, well, I'll tell you what, he can damn kiss my country ass Those children were missing. The police had to do what they had to do. You know good and dang well that Chad and Alex and Lori weren't going to help the situation out. The police knew something was up, and this was serious. And of course, we know when it all came down to it, a bunch of murder. That's what happened. Okay, so here we go on what they're looking at on the screen. Hermosillo says this is the front room of 175, standing at the front door entrance. You see carpet and couches and a dining area in the back. And that was the exhibit number 7B. Now we go on to 7C, where Hermosillo is speaking, and they're showing it on the overhead, the view from the kitchen island looking at the front door. Just below, one of these images, just below with the stairwell, is a little door to a crawl space. The first photo is the exterior of Lori's apartment. The second photo is the front room of apartment 175, looking into the living room and dining area. The next photo shows the living room area going upstairs. The next photo is a Star Wars suitcase, y'all, with 3 to 5 preparedness bags with emergency kits. Now let that sink in. Let that sink in. The next photo is a Star Wars suitcase, y'all. Somebody needs to beat that hussy to death. 3 to 5 preparedness bags with emergency kits. And then you keep in mind, y'all, that those guns were left in the garage. What the hell? I mean, it's almost like they had to rush out and just said the hell with everything. And by the way, how about this? What the hell? Why are you going to leave behind 3 to 5 preparedness bags with emergency kits if it's the damn end of the world? I mean, come on. Where's them damn buckets of food? My God, these people. Yeah, it's the end of the damn world. They're ushering in the 144,000, and they ain't got their preparedness bags and their first aid kits and their freaking buckets of damn food that Lori left behind in Arizona. Give me a break. What are they going to live off of? Coconuts in Hawaii? Oh, and Hawaii's not going to really see doomsday. That's why they're holed out there, don't you know? Give me a break. Give me a break. Stupid. Stupid. Okay, here we go. The next photo was taken looking down the stairs. The next photo is the master bedroom, y'all, where Lori did all her pouncing around. The next photo is the master bedroom closet with all the empty hangers in the closet. No clothes, just a towel hanging on the back door. Oh, I'm sure she got some good wear and tear out of that dang 4-poster bed there. I bet she was dang doing it to it. Normally when people go on trips and plan to come home, they don't take all their belongings from their closet. This caught our attention because there was nothing in the closet other than empty hangers, said Hermosillo. Great point. What, a planned move? What was it, a vacation? Was it a planned move? Melanie P there? It was a planned move, y'all. Well, if it was, then why not why put stuff in storage, huh? If you're going to move, I mean, I'm sure you can't bring furniture to Hawaii. I guess it would cost a lot to do that. We know Chad and Lori, they went to rent a center in Hawaii and got the basic stuff for their little bungalow there and their yoga mats, just for the two of them. They wanted to make it look homey. They wanted it to make like, this is their new home. They're going to rent some furniture. They're going to have their yoga mats. While those children's bodies were in shallow graves in Chad Daybell's backyard. Give me a break. These people are sick and twisted. Okay, the next photo is another bedroom with some of Alex Cox's belongings. Well, I'll tell you what, Alex Cox, I thought he lived in 107. This bedroom is some of Alex Cox's belongings. His name was on a plastic tub in the closet. In another room was some hazmat-looking white suits laying on the floor, y'all. Let me repeat that. In another room was some hazmat-looking white suits lying on the floor, folks. Maybe it wasn't those, but they had some. They had to have. When they were dismembering Tyler, y'all. The hazmat suits. Why did they have hazmat suits, y'all? A tub on the closet had Alex Cox's belongings. And again, y'all, Alex Cox, Lori says that the children were murdered over her alibi. It was in Alex's apartment. Well, why would that be if Alex's stuff is over in her apartment? Those sick, twisted people. Sick. Hazmat suits, y'all. That's something we didn't know. Hazmat suits? What does someone need a hazmat suit for? Oh, it had nothing to do with dismembering Tyler or anything. It had to do with the end of the world? Why in the hell didn't they bring their hazmat suits? Their first aid kits, their buckets of food, their preparedness bags. Give me a break. Give me a break. That's incredible, y'all. I did not know that Alex's things were in Lori's apartments. Oh my gosh. Hazmat suits. I'll never get that out of my head. Oh, they're calling them Tydex suits, which is hazmat suits. Another exhibit shows the rental agreement for the storage unit. Hermosillo lists the contact number for the agreement, and the name was Lori Ryan. Yeah. She was still using Joe Ryan even after murdering his ass, allegedly, in my opinion. So she just had to, that's how that's how it is, y'all. That's how it is. These people, they use aliases, they use other people's names. They can't be real. And the bottom line is if they're so damn holier than thou, why they got to do all this sneaking around, huh? Why they got to do that? Because they're diabolically evil people. It's incredible. Okay, y'all. Hermosillo now being shown images of the contract Lori signed with the storage unit company. Lori signed her name as Lori Ryan. And Nate, I don't know when he's gotten this, but here's a picture that he has given us to let us know that she had signed her name Lori Ryan. I don't know where he got this because he can't take pictures in the courtroom. I'm assuming this is just stuff he knew or had pictures of before. Okay, y'all. A new series of exhibits are under review, and those were the exhibits of Lori signing her name, Lori Ryan. Photos of items in the apartment garage. Thomas will take a moment to question some of these items. Waiting on a refresh, y'all. Okay, so at this time right now, Thomas is looking at these series of exhibits that are under review. And so they're going to get that worked out. Doesn't say anything about a sidebar or anything like that. I guess they're just showing them whatever it is they're wanting to present as exhibits. We'll soon, here in a minute, we'll find out what those exhibits are. I don't understand it, that they want to talk about these, going over to Lori's there and the body cam and all that, and yet they're not going to play this right now. I don't understand it. Perhaps maybe they're going to do it sometime later today. You would think once they brought it up, though, that they would go ahead and play it. Okay, y'all, ready? Hermosillo now is being shown images of items found in Lori's garage. The photos are admitted into evidence. So there you go and it's going to be hard for us to keep up with all these exhibits, y'all, but the bottom line is there were guns in there. There was all kinds of stuff. Spent magazines, knives and things like that Alex Cox, obviously, that crazy one slice of bread short of loaf jerk was Lori's protector, y'all. Remember, that was something we all knew about. He was deemed her protector. Isn't that sweet? All right. Doing the best I can, folks. Waiting for a refresh. Defense will object to everything they can and hope some will be kept out, says Tina Reddington. Karen Holland says, makes you wonder where they disposed of Tylee because they didn't find everything. Well, I think we're pretty well clued in on now, y'all, when Lindsay Blake talked about Tylee's DNA on a pickaxe, that they went out to Chad's to dismember her. And I don't know if these Tydex or what you'd call a hazmat suit was used during those times, or whether these hazmat suits were part of the stupid end of the world crap that they just so happened to leave behind, but they believed it was the end of the world. Give me a break, y'all. Give me a break. First image shows items in the garage that were taken out of the tub. There is a Jilly, which is camouflage suit, laid out on the ground. Police also found gun magazines and silencers to put on the end of a gun to keep it quiet when it was fired. Bingo! Alex was creepy, as he was like the freaking, y'all know me, I always say it, they're like Sling Blade. Chad Daybell, give me some taters. I'll get some of them taters there. I'm telling you, these people are creepy as hell. Here we go. Trash bags had a lot of clothes that investigators took out to take photos of. And that was, well, let me back up. You've got 8A through Q in exhibits are now being admitted. In 8A, on screen, we see black tubs in the back of the photo. Hermosillo also describes one of these ghillie suits that's in the garage. Now, a ghillie suit is different than a hazmat suit. These ghillie suits are more like, they're like for hunting. Now, that was 8A. We got 8B now in exhibits that has been entered. Trash bags had a lot of clothes that investigators took out to take photos of. 8C, several rounds of ammunition in a tub or container. 8D was a rifle that was discovered in the garage. The end of the barrel of the rifle is threaded for a silencer, y'all, or i.e. a suppressor, per Ray Hermosillo's testimony, y'all. I think Alex got off easy by damn offing himself. That's what I think. Some of y'all think Zulema and Lori and Chad offed him, but I think he did it to himself. I think he was ready to go on to his new planet, y'all. Okay. The fourth image shows a rifle found in the garage and the barrel is threaded for a silencer. Fifth image shows the same rifle laid down on the table at the police department. Another rifle was inside of the same bag. And y'all, we didn't know. I did not know. Remember we talked about that? We were, and when Wayne and I went to Idaho and we went down there and we looked at how the apartments were set up and the garages are on the back and all that. And we just wanted, all of us was so curious, you know, how could you get body in and out? Well, it would have been easy. All you do is shut the garage door and come out of the apartment into the garage where no one can see you. But we also was wondering, you know, when they did that search warrant and then the FBI got involved as well and was there searching, this is the things that we didn't know they found in the garage. Some of us even talked about, well, what if they did this, like dismembered Tylee or something like that in the garage? Would they find the DNA and all this and that? Well, as we see so far, we've got a buildup of Alex Cox's twisted ass mind with these hazmat suits, the ghillie suits, the ammunition, 2 rifles. And why? Again, why didn't Alex, when him and Lori took off that evening after the welfare check, why didn't they take all that with them? Because they knew the police were coming back. Well, what, they didn't, at this point, didn't care? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The next image shows 2 silencers found inside the garage. The next image shows knives that were found near the rifles. Y'all, the next image shows a handgun found in a tub in the garage, y'all. And listen to this. The next image is a Halloween mask that was found on top of a plastic Walmart bag. Y'all know what I'm talking about, those Halloween masks. I guess it's Jason, whatever, the ski mask, the Halloween ski. This is sick. This is sick and twisted. This is so freaking creepy and scary. Inside the bag, y'all, was rope and a duct tape. The next image shows Alex Cox's active passport found inside the garage. Y'all, all of the instruments that they used to bind JJ was rope and duct tape. This was found with Alex's active passport. Many of us believe that Alex was the heavy, that Alex actually did the killing for Chad and Lori. Make no mistake, there ain't no damn way that Alex had all this stuff and everything that Lori didn't know about it. What the hell is he doing with a Halloween mask? That's just absolutely, y'all, a hazmat suit and a ghillie suit and a Halloween mask. These people were demonically possessed. This is evil as evil gets. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The next image shows documents found inside Lori's garage. There were emails, y'all, in Lori's garage from Chad Daybell. As Hermosillo's reviewing this evidence, Lori is taking notes. She better damn well take notes. That damn hussy. Wood shows an image that displays more emails from Chad Daybell, along with another photo showing books written by Chad that were also found in the garage. The final photo, y'all, is a cell phone found in the garage. Now, folks, these people, surely the only thing I can think is, and we're talking not just about this stuff being left behind for law enforcement to find, but we're talking about JJ's medication bottle, a storage unit rental lease. You think they set this shit up? I don't know. Or either they're the world's stupidest damn murderers to leave all this behind. Answer me this question. Why would they have left this stuff in the garage if they had a storage unit already with the kids' stuff in it? And it wasn't full. It could have. It could have been put in that storage unit that they thought nobody knew about. The storage unit that was in Lori Ryan's name. Why was all the stuff left in the garage? Remember, we saw the video surveillance of Alex. Alex was there plenty of times by himself. There was tubs in the back of his truck. I'm trying to figure out and put it together. I might have to let this all sink in. Why wouldn't they have hidden these guns and the hazmat suits and all of that stuff in the storage unit? Why did they leave it in Lori's garage? I just cannot believe that these, if they're throwing stuff in the back of Alex's truck from Lori's apartment the evening after the police left, this is what a neighbor has said, then why not bring all that stuff with them? Why did it need to be left behind? After serving the search warrant, Hermosillo says that Rexburg PD contacted the FBI and were trying to get a hold of Lori and Chad. Police contacted Kobe Ryan, who told them he had not spoken to his sister in a while. The search for JJ now included the search for Tylee. Hermosillo says Chad and Lori's phones were shut off. Oh, yeah, their phones were shut off, but I'll tell you what, their asses had burner phones out the ass. They were not going to go without some form, being able to get a hold of Zuzu there. Zulema, the communications director, the go-between. At no point during this time frame did Lori call Rexburg Police Department to report her kids missing. On December the 11th of 2019, Rexburg contacted Missing Kids to report Tylee and JJ as missing and endangered children. On December 11th, the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children were contacted by RPD, entering JJ and Tylee's names as missing and endangered children. Hermosillo says they contacted any family members who would take their calls to try and find the kids. He says Lori Vallow never called the police about the missing children. And I wonder if Janice and Barry and Adam Cox and Sammy, oh, they're too busy giving interviews saying, happy birthday, Sammy. And Summer says that she thought it was Tylee, and Janice said she spoke with JJ when he was already dead. Give me a break. All right, y'all. A little more than a week after this, the public would learn about JJ Vallow and Tylee Ryan, and now they're having a brief sidebar. So I don't know what that's in relation to, but they are definitely having a sidebar for whatever reason. Police set up a tip line and issued a news release on December the 20th of 2019 about the missing children. And Nate Eaton talks about how East Idaho News had the story of when he learned JJ and Tylee were gone. I think Nate Eaton and Justin Lum are incredible journalists who stayed on this from day one. I'm so glad it was them. I really do. The press release on the kids came out on 12/20 of 19. It was a Friday. I remember one of our producers gave us a brief summary on what we knew, saying this would be a national story. That weekend, we aired our first report, says Justin Lum, y'all. The weekend of December 20th of 2019, this is when Justin knew then this was going to be a national story. It was going to be probably one of the most high-profile cases that I, in my 52 years of my life, have ever watched or known anything about. Now, they're back on the record. They didn't say what the sidebar was about. I'm waiting for more updates here. Okay, and then Nate obviously was saying the first photos the world ever saw of Tylee and JJ issued with the original news release. And this is something we've seen this so many times. Justice for JJ and Tylee. Oh, Lord, y'all. It's here. We're seeing it unfold. They're back on the record, but again, I'm waiting for an update, y'all. I'm shocked Boyce is overruling. Glad he is, but was beginning to think he was under a spell there, says Tanya T. Teresa Higgins says, I just want all family to be okay, and I feel for them. God is with them, and love will always win, says Teresa Higgins. Dodging Bullet says, when the jury hears the medical examiner, they're going to be sick. I agree with that, Dodging Bullets. Zelda said, I had a dream when I first saw him about him dropping dead of massive heart attack. I don't wish bad on anyone, hope I'm wrong, but his body type, red face, high blood pressure, stress is not good. I'm not sure who you're speaking of, but I'm sure y'all know what that's all about. Siggy D09 says, I can listen to her while I do some errands to get my dad to his treatments. I hope Kay is okay yesterday and was a beating for her, I'm sure. KT says, Lori did terrible stuff to Joe Ryan, and Alex tasered Ryan long before she met Chad. She had this tendency before Chad, and I 100% agree with that. Okay. All right, here we go, y'all. Wood brings up when Lori Vallow was ordered to produce her children to the Rexburg Police Department. Hermosillo recalls she did not. Rexburg Police Department had started a hotline for tips. They also used cell phone data to find Lori and Chad's location in Kauai. Hermosillo says through his investigation, police used cell phone data and tips to determine Chad and Lori were in Kauai. Hermosillo and other officers went to Hawaii to assist Kauai police in issuing a court order on January the 25th of 2020. Rexburg Police Department also assisted Kauai police in issuing a search warrant on Daybell's rental vehicle and their condo. On January 25th of 2020, Lori was served with the order. Kauai police would also serve a search warrant that weekend, searching Vallow and Daybell's condo. No kids were found, and it looked like only adults lived there. I agree with that language of horses. Can y'all believe that Chad and Lori have pleaded not guilty? Oh, but Archie takes it a step further, don't you know? Lori didn't know before. She didn't have any idea before the kids were murdered that they were going to be murdered. She didn't know after they were murdered. Her kids just wasn't there, and she was not the principal. And I'll tell you, according to Idaho law, she's a damn serial killing child killer. She needs the death penalty, but that's not on the table anymore. She gave those children the death penalty. Okay, here we go. Hermosillo says the interior of the condo appeared as if two adults lived there. There were no toys or kid medication or clothes inside the apartment. Hermosillo said nothing indicated children had been living there. And, they left all that back at Pioneer Road, don't you know? They didn't need that stuff anymore. Wood says, did you see anything that implied minor children lived there? Speaking of when they went and did this search on Chad and Lori's new bungalow there. And Ray Hermosillo obviously says no. All right, y'all. Wood asked Ray Hermosillo, what does proof of life mean? And Ray Hermosillo says, any document that indicates someone is still alive. And Rob Wood says, pursuant to your investigation, what was last day for proof of life for Tylee Ryan? And Ray Hermosillo obviously says, 9/8 of 19, which was a photo taken of Tylee at Yellowstone National Park. Wood then asks the same about JJ. Hermosillo says 9/22 of 19, when JJ was seen in a photo sitting on a couch in Vallow's apartment, and we've all seen that. Y'all know how I am with my theories and my hypotheses. I think it wasn't very long at all, that day on the 22nd after that photo was shot, that they went and did what they did to JJ. I don't think this was, this is just me. I could be 100% wrong. I don't think this whole bullshit about that JJ being brought in on Alex's shoulder and all that, I don't believe a damn word Melanie Gibbs says. I think that was the story that Melanie Gibb and David Warwick stayed up all night to back themselves out of the fact that they knew damn well. They knew Tylee was murdered and they knew JJ was murdered. And no one's going to tell me otherwise. I know it to be true. And the bottom line is Melanie Gibb and David Warwick are scum of the earth. I have a huge embroidery machine that does hats, says Zelda. I have about 100 baseball caps I got years ago from the dollar store. I want to send them to Creshaw or Nate Eaton. Let him pass them out. I'll do at no charge. How very generous of you, Zelda. Zelda, that's very nice. In pictures of Joe Ryan's apartment, there were sunglasses on bathroom vanity. That's what I remember. I think they were Lori's glasses. Yeah, well, Marilyn Pastor. It's a sad thing that they didn't take it further in that investigation. Waiting for a refresh, y'all. Okay. Just to kind of reemphasize what I've read before, Hermosillo says the last date he is aware of proof of life of Tylee Ryan is September 8th of 2019, based on a photo of her in Yellowstone. The last date of proof of life of JJ was September 22nd of 2019, based on a photo of JJ sitting on a couch in Lori's front room. And the last tweet, y'all, is court is now taking a 15 to 20 minute morning break. So we've got a little time to talk. What do y'all think of Hermosillo starting things out basically from the impounding of that Jeep and the fact that they had this relationship with Gilbert, Arizona through Ryan Pillar? You're welcome, RDNAC. Yeah, coffee time. Y'all, if you got to go and do a little Mother Nature, go to the bathroom, fix yourself a drink. It's too early in the day for me to be doing anything but coffee or Red Bull, but Katara, so far I'm amazed at how much of the story we actually already know if you're gone down the rabbit hole. Dodging Bullets says, the Mormon church allowed Jodi Arias' trial to be filmed. Why not this trial? Okie Dokie says, I think Hermosillo is a good witness, believable and trustworthy. Renee says, I think they're putting all the evidence together nicely. Tina. CHP says, I need to get my floors done for 15 minutes. There you go. Well, Maria P., be sure to wash behind your ears now. Got to clean them ears out. What do y'all think so far this morning? We're in a 15, 20-minute break here. Any observations? Anything that y'all see? I mean, y'all, I think, to me, it would have to be the Halloween mask and the hazmat and ghillie suits just goes to show you that these are serial killers we're talking about here. We're talking about evil, diabolical, evil serial killers. I also did not know. I did not know that they found all of this stuff in Lori's garage. Somebody tell me why it wasn't over there in 107. Is it because they were through using it as their kill apartment? And so, and then on top of it all, they find stuff of Alex's inside of Lori's apartment, not to mention the garage. Yeah, dodging bullets. Hermosillo was on the stand. They had photos that were entered into evidence where they went out on Lori's garage and they opened these tubs. Inside the house, they opened up a tub and found a hazmat suit. Then they go out in the garage and look in the tubs there. They find 2 rifles, ammunition, magazines. The guns had threads on the end where you could do a silencer. They had a ghillie suit in there. And a ghillie suit is one of those camouflage suits that hunters use. I mean, y'all, these people are evil, diabolical serial killers. CC Johnson 67 says, I think it's horrifying what these sick people did. Oh my gosh. I don't know what NF stands for, but it's NF Mom. I was so afraid that when they said Yellowstone was the last place they saw Tylee, she would never be found. That place is massive. Thank God they didn't dump her there. She would have been lost forever. And by the way, that reminds me, y'all, they did say in yesterday's testimony, in the opening statement, Lindsay Blake, that Tylee's hands were not with her. So it's a very good possibility, this is just a theory, that Alex took those hands and took it to those bowling places in Yellowstone to hide them. So, the hands being removed, y'all, forensically, y'all know killers do this shit so that people can't be identified. Kathleen Curtis says prosecution is doing a lot better than I expected. Defense, not much. They can do. They're up against the wall, and you're damn skippy on that, Kathleen Curtis. Even though we have heard a lot before, it's just so heavy now. Heartbreaking all over again, says Okie dokie. Listen, y'all, make no mistake, I am absolutely heartbroken about these victims, but I'm also a firm believer, and this is just me, my faith, that the children, Tammy, Charles, they're all with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It's just my opinion. This is what I believe, and they're fine. But I'll tell you what, knowing that they had to show in the opening statement what they did, the state showing JJ in his pajamas and stuff, that had to be, it had to be absolutely devastating. Devastating. I'm late, but I'm here now, says Jen Marr. Well, better late than never, Jen Marr. I heard from a good source that when we hear the phone calls from Chad, we're going to be absolutely horrified. Y'all, Hermosillo is laying out this stuff, but my mind goes to this, okay? Now listen to me. Again, I want justice through understanding. And we all said before this trial that there were going to be things we didn't know about, that we were able to piece in there. A lot of questions that we had were going to be answered. And we also said there were some questions we probably would never get the answers to. But my mind works like this. And that is if Chad and Lori threw everything in the back of Alex's truck the night of the welfare check after the police left, what was all of Alex's things doing over there at Lori's? And why, because Melanie Pulaski says her and Alex spent time together most every day. Why would he have to leave all of that. That's evidence. I mean, those are, and then think of it like this, y'all. Remember Zulema talked about that duffel bag in the closet that Alex said, if something happens to me, here's some money in there, and they found a gun in there and everything. Why couldn't he have just, this is just me talking common sense. Why didn't he take all those guns and things and go pawn them to get him some cash? Why did he leave those behind? And if he was going to leave those behind, why didn't he put them in the storage unit that him and his freaked out sister were using, not only on the attempt on Brandon's life, but to put the kids' things in there? It's strange to me. I believe Jesus holds them now and plays with JJ. His words warn against harming children. I think they should be very afraid, says Okie Dokie. I do. Vicky McNutt, I believe that Lori was jealous of Tylee. Candace Pear says Lori was setting Alex up to take all the blame. Y'all, we're on a break right now. It's a 15 or 20 minute morning break. Didn't Alex have time to get rid of that stuff after Lori and Chad fled to Hawaii, says Katera. Well, I don't understand why, if he wasn't going to stay in Rexburg after Lori and Chad took off, why he just didn't load all that stuff up into his truck when he left to go back to Arizona briefly, where he was going to meet up with Zulema. Remember, Zulema, Melanie Gibb, Melanie P., and Alex there were behind Zulema's house talking code words around this same timeline. So he takes off, goes back to Arizona to get Zulema. They're going to run off to Las Vegas and get married. This was during the time that Zulema talked about, he put this sheet on the bed and the essential oils and stuff, they were squirting that damn baby oil, flopping up and down, doing all that damn slipping and sliding, they did it. And then she's talking about, with the police in her interview, she's like, I just felt so sleepy. Well, I'll tell you what, he probably rocked her world. He probably slammed it a few times and got her good and sleepy. I'm going to just be real with y'all. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but even if it ain't all that good, most of the time, people after having, these sexual escapades, they're going to fall asleep. Mostly men, but his ass was in the bathroom, she says, speaking to somebody on the phone, and she was in and out of it and all that. Give me a break, y'all. Give me a break. He was probably on Pornhub, probably in there saying, well, I can't get it up with just looking at Zulema laying on that sheet with all that damn slap ass baby oil on her. I got to go in the bathroom, Zulema. I'll be back in a minute. I'll be ready by then. I don't know why I go off on these tangents. Why are those other cult members still free, says Maria P. Well, I'll tell you, Maria P. We know who's on the state's witness list that's going to testify against this damn hussy. Maybe they had to basically cut a deal with them in some way. Maybe they didn't come right out and say, we're going to do something to you, Melanie Gibb, for lying to police. Maybe she knew her shit was in trouble. And then, she probably heard about that second grand jury. Y'all know and I know that was about this case. Who it was about, we don't know. And again, those findings in the second grand jury does not have to be released. In fact, the state of Idaho can get an indictment on anybody and never release that information or ever use it. So, The bottom line is these cult members need to be looking over their shoulder, not only for law enforcement, but I'll tell you, in their everyday lives, now that they're out here walking around, these crazy nut job cult members, they better damn just understand there are a lot of people in this world that won't put up with that crap and will take them out one way or the other. I mean, I'm just being real. It's called people like Alex Cox with Halloween mask and hazmat suits, and Zulema talking about damn earthquakes, and Melanie Gibb talking about she's Phoebe, and Melanie Gibb's there from the get-go. And just so happens that Melanie P is in these castings with her malachite stone. And by the way, Lori gets the malachite rings there for her and Chad. These people are disgusting. Disgusting. Justin Lum says, obviously we're in a short recess, and he also brings out, we have not seen any body cam footage yet. And that was to a reply from someone who said, are they entertaining any video or photo evidence? Like the body cam footage of the times they went to Lori's apartment or when they went to the shed. Oh, Lord. Yeah, they've got to get this out. We're not going to get to see it, but we'll just have to depend on the news media to report what they're looking at, just as we got kind of understanding description-wise through Nate and Justin on what these exhibits showing what the inside of Lori's apartment looked like, the inside of the garage, what they found in there. Those are things that we're not really... obviously, when Larry and Kay went to Idaho, remember they did that documentary and they went into the apartment, the actual apartment? That was the only other time that we saw inside the apartment. Y'all know OKJ went to those apartments, Mr. Wayne and we looked at the outside. We were trying to determine whether there was any kind of video surveillance there, which we didn't see any cameras. So we are getting a little bit of that filled in. Again, this is a damn shame that we've got to go through all this in order to get justice for these victims. Hello, 1979 ACR. Mr. Tom Vaughn, how are you? I'm trying to keep up with things. I am absolutely glad that everybody has made it on here. Brandon is way too considerate of Melanie, or maybe he's doing it for the children. Shared custody, but I think Melanie is a bad influence, and I agree with that, Zero. I absolutely agree with it. Hello there, Mr. M. How are you today? Yin Yang, our channel poet, finally alive again. Long time, but this case is still insane. It's burning in my brain, all the sadness, all the pain. I love our channel poet. Yin Yang always knows what to say. Yeah, Zelda, I agree. I just don't understand why Brandon allows his monster crazy ex-wife, Melanie Niece, share the custody. She's nuts. Well, Zelda, here's the bottom line. Everybody knows that Melanie Pulowski is in the middle of all this, that she was part of this cult, so all eyes are on her. So she can't take her own children out now, although she entertained it back when everything was the way it was with her and her beautiful Aunt Lori and her, and Chad and Ian meeting him and marrying him right off the bat and all that. The bottom line is that Melanie is those children's mother. And Brandon, I'm assuming on a basic human level, didn't want to have to keep those kids away from her because eventually, y'all, the kids would resent him for it. Not to mention the times that Melanie gets to have time with those children, their 4 children. He gets to go off with his beautiful wife, and they get to enjoy his money and all that while she gets to take care of Ian and their child together along with her 4 kids. I mean, that gives him a break, don't you think? I mean, bare bones. Well, Zelda, surely Ian wouldn't allow anything like that, but say, for instance, Melanie P was alone and she got another revelation, just like she got the revelation that Brandon was gay. Give me a break. I guess it is what it is. And really, ultimately, if she was to do something, then Brandon will just have to accept that he didn't fight hard enough to protect his children. I mean, that's just, I'll say it. Nobody else will say it, but I will. Back on the record, says daughter of Scotland. Thank you. Jurors will return and Rob Wood will continue direct examination of Hermosillo. Back from the morning break, Lori was walked in wearing leg shackles, and then a deputy locks the shackles to the floor in the courtroom so she can't leave the table. Get her feet on the floor. Oh, I gotta say it again. Lori was walked in wearing leg shackles, and then a deputy locks the shackles to the floor in the courtroom so she cannot leave the table. That might explain why she didn't leave for a break yesterday before lunch, y'all. I bet this is a far cry now of those damn yoga pants and those leggings, acting like she was all that in a damn box of cookies. Now she can damn take her ass, sit down at that damn table, and look at the evidence of her murderous heart. That evil, diabolical woman. I hope she enjoys those leg shackles. Yeah, they call her a god. Yeah, what is she, she believed all this? Oh, she was under Chad Daybell's spell, huh? She's had 2 damn years to come out of that damn shell. What, she's now going to have a trial where she's finally going to grow a conscience? Give me a break. She doesn't have to pee with her special powers, so we don't have to worry about that, says Teresa. Well, of course. Don't you know? She started turning translated. We heard that in opening statements, didn't we? I'll tell you what, the woman is not in any way divine, holy, any of that crap. The most powerful woman in the world, says Chad Daybell. Well, let me see her get her feet out of them damn shackles. I'm telling you. It's pathetic, y'all. It's pathetic. I did not know that. We were just talking about that yesterday. We didn't know if she was shackled to the floor or not. Okay, here we go. State presents exhibits 9A through 9D. Hermosillo says these are photos of the Jeep Wrangler seized on 11/4 of 2019. Okay. This has to be leading into something, y'all. And just think, we're not going to get to see the body cam, but we're going to get to hear, well, we've already heard it anyway, but there are going to be other body cam stuff too. And not only that, Nate and Justin Lum and probably other news media is going to be showing Lori standing there, lying through her damn teeth. Re-emphasizing it, Hermosillo remains on the stand. He's handed 4 photos of the Jeep that the state wants to admit as evidence. I'm waiting for Thomas to object. I mean, I am. He's objected over anything, really. Stupid. And he's been overruled every time. I think except for one time yesterday. Okay, 9A shown on the screen in the courtroom is a side view of the passenger side of the Jeep. 9B is the rear view of the Jeep with Texas plates. First photo is the gray Jeep Wrangler. Second photo shows the rear view of the Jeep with Texas plates. The third photo shows the interior of the Jeep taken from the driver's door. Fourth photo shows the interior of the Jeep from the passenger side. Now just remember, y'all, these exhibits, you have to really stop and think, how is this germane? How is this relevant to Lori's charges? One word: conspiracy. That's the only, because if you think about it, the Jeep was only used on the attempt of Brandon Boudreaux's life. Also, I guess you could emphasize that Tylee normally drove this Jeep. For whatever other reason they would need these exhibits of the Jeep Wrangler, the only explanation that I can come up with is that this is just showing the conspiracy, the whole process of it up till, you know, all this went down. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, honestly, y'all, if you look at it, anytime that there was something that led to people knowing what was, at least being alarmed about the children and stuff, it all led back, y'all, to Charles Vallow. And we're seeing that now with his Jeep. We're seeing that in Kay's testimony about the scanner that had his Gmail account on it. Everything, it's like Charles Vallow speaking from the graves, wanting to try to help with these children after he was murdered. I know that's just my view, but okay. And it says here, to give you an idea, these are photos from Fox 10 obtained through a records request to Gilbert PD. These specific images are not the ones we have seen so far in the court, just the same subject and setting. Okay, so I'll show you this very quickly. He's trying to say these are not the ones they're showing in the court, but this is kind of similar to what they're showing in the court. That makes sense. Okay. State wants Hermosillo to review exhibits 29A, 13, and 14. And I don't know what those are yet, but we'll find out. We're kind of getting used to how this is going. Again, the audio will be released just as it was for day one. Later on, it'll all make more sense. I'm just so proud of the work that Hermosillo and all law enforcement did on this case. I really am. I think they had a good, airtight case. You can leave Arizona's law enforcement, even Gilbert, Arizona, out of it if you really want to know the truth. Because you think about this. Gilbert, Arizona, talked to Rexburg. Ryan Pillar from Gilbert was talking to them about doing surveillance and all this stuff. Well, does it even dawn on Gilbert to talk to Chandler about the fact that Charles Vallow was murdered. And I know, many say that this was a long and extensive investigation, but the bottom line is it was just awful what Arizona did in not listening to Charles Vallow. If they would have just listened to Charles Vallow, the children could very well have been still alive. I know that's hard to talk about, but the bottom line is it took. It almost did. I hate to say it, but it's true. Charles Vallow had to be murdered in order for anyone to really start to look at the fact that Lori was losing it. Well, she'd already lost it anyway, but it's sad. It just is. Still waiting, y'all, for they're showing the Jeep photos and all of that. So I'm just waiting for everything to get back to something refreshed. And I'm wondering how they're going to, why. I mean, they're bringing in the Jeep, obviously, as part of this common scheme and plan. Lindsay Blake obviously talks about the money aspect, the sex, and the power. But the conspiracy has to be proven here, which will be no problem whatsoever. I just hope that it's clear and concise, and that the jurors are following this, and really, really paying attention. Okay, y'all give me 1 minute. I gotta, nature's calling. Okay, here we go, y'all. Wood asked to have a business document from Apple related to an iCloud account admitted as evidence. And this will be important. Y'all, this has got to be Lori's iCloud account. Okay, so when I said to y'all that the state wants Hermosillo to review exhibits 29A, 13, and 14, Justin Lum says before they are admitted, Wood asks for a sidebar. So that was something Nate didn't report. Then Nate talks about that Wood asked to have a business document from Apple related to an iCloud account admitted as evidence. So I'm assuming when they went to the sidebar, they wanted to make sure there wasn't going to be any issues. And they don't say that Thomas objected to the photos of the Jeep Wrangler. So I'm assuming those have been entered into evidence. And I'm assuming there isn't, I don't see how they couldn't admit this iCloud account. It's evidence. Maybe we'll learn something on it that we didn't know. So we're waiting on that, y'all. That's a good point there, Angel. Thankful they were stupid and left digital bombs everywhere. Oh, I couldn't have said that better. Just wanted to tell you, let y'all know that Kresha is tweeting from the courtroom. Oh, okay. We definitely have to. I didn't know. I did not know this. Well, let's add her to that if I can get to it. What's her handle under? Is it under difficult research? Somebody tell me. I don't see it. Can somebody tell me what her Twitter handle is, please? Yeah, Dee Dee, we've done the Tydex suits and the freaking Halloween mask. It's Kresha K. Easton? Okay. I swear. Here we go. Wow. I'm gonna try to incorporate all of these, y'all. This is not going to be easy for me, but I'm gonna try to do it because Kresha K, I want to hear from her over anyone else. Hermosillo testifies about docs from inside the garage and who emails were sent from. And yes, we've heard this, but I'm looking at Kresha's perspective here. Hermosillo says, Thomas objects, saying it can't be read. Hermosillo says, to me, it looks like chad.daybell@gmail.com. See, that's something Nate and Justin didn't let us know about. Let me see if Catherine Calvert is the name, and it's an e-signature from Apple. So I don't know if what that means, y'all, but I'm going to keep an eye on. The last tweet that Kresha has said is sidebar and white noise added. Let's see what. I'm going to try to do a little bit of everything, y'all, if I can. Okay, here we go. 29A is admitted into evidence. Wood asks Ray Hermosillo if he has reviewed the iCloud account, Lori for Style at iCloud.com. Ray Hermosillo has and believes it belongs to Lori Vallow. Exhibit 13 and 14 are photographs of JJ and Tally at Yellowstone. Also a picture of JJ in red pajamas on the couch. The Yellowstone photo has circulated all across the internet since 2020. The FBI released it in hopes to get tips from the public months before the kids were found. Okay, now I'm getting back with Kresha here. They're publishing those infamous photos of Tally, JJ, Alex Cox at Yellowstone on September 8th of 2019. There's metadata associated with that phone on September 8th of 2019. And the photo of my nephew, JJ Vallow, on the couch in his red pajamas. This is proof of life as well as September 22nd of 2019. Hermosillo explains what metadata is. So again, y'all, we're going between Nate Eaton, Justin Lum, and Cresha K. Easton of Difficult Research. For anyone that's new on here, Cresha is a family member of JJ. Her mother is Kay Woodcock, and her father is Larry Woodcock. She is also tweeting under Cresha K. Easton. So for those that think, oh, you got to have a Twitter account. No, you don't. All you do is go to Google, okay? You go to the Google search engine, you put in Cresha K. Easton, Twitter, and then it'll pop up, and you click on it, and you can scroll right on down through there. You don't have to have an account. And the same goes for Justin Lum and Nate Eaton, or anyone else for that matter. So I'm going to be going between the three. I feel are the they're all in the courtroom. Cresha, there's no way I could leave her out. I want to hear her over anything else. Let's see. Okay, at this point, I'm researching to search for JJ and Tylee. Did their investigator include Fremont County and Tammy Daybell? Hermosillo says yes. Says Tammy died October 19th of 2019. She was POSS shot. She was shot at on October 9th of 2019. Then Cresha says on June 9th of 2020, 202 North 1900 East Fremont County, listed as Rexburg, but in Fremont. They're there's continuing to talk about. Hermosillo says he's reviewed the iCloud account, says it belongs to Lori Vallow based on photos and records contained in the account. And these are the photos that were just admitted as evidence, and many of us know this, but let's just, for the ones that haven't seen it, these are actually the ones that are admitted into day 2 through Ray Hermosillo. The last known time that they were alive. So okay, Hermosillo says that Rexburg Police Department showed up to Chad Daybell's property. Daybell's son, Mark, had a bowl of cereal and said his dad was asleep. Police said they needed to talk to Chad and walked up to his room. They told him they had a search warrant. That's something we didn't know. We knew that they had the search warrant, but we didn't know, like, the specifics, you know? Because I always thought it was Garth that answered the door, but it was Mark, and he had a bowl of cereal in his hands. All right, here we go. Officers went to Chad's room. He sat up in bed, and officers said they were there to serve a search warrant. Chad got dressed and then walked downstairs with police into the kitchen. You know his ass was puckering. It was puckering. And remember this, y'all. By this time, him and Lori thought, because they'd been out that January in the snow, and when the police left there and all that, I'm sure Chad and Lori was like, oh, they won't be back now and all that. Well, I'll tell you what, his ass was puckering, y'all know it. He knew the poop was going to hit the fan. He knew it. Here we go, y'all. How about this? Chad asked to call his attorney, who at the time was Mark Means. Chad called Mark, and police went into the front room with Chad, where they served him with the warrant. Chad asked if he needed to leave, and police said he did not, but if he left, an officer would need to accompany him. Oh, and this goes back to that whole thing. Remember, we've talked about all of this, y'all, every aspect. When they found those children, and he takes off and everything, I'm assuming he was leaving not to evade police, but he was trying to get to his attorney. But you would think that son of a bitch would say, what the hell's going on? I can't believe there's children in my backyard or anything. And he never said anything at all after they found those children's bodies. I'll tell you what, we live on quite the property here. And if they found bodies on this property, they couldn't say, well, because the bodies were on this property, that KJ murdered somebody, okay? Just because it's on the property. Someone could frame you, just as Emma says that Lori and Alex framed Chad. Although Lori was so in love with Chad, why would she want to frame him? You get me? But the bottom line is that, just because they're on your property, but I would be like, damn, I didn't know there were dead bodies on my property. I'd be freaking out and all that. He never ever acted that way at all. You heard him on that recording with Lori. They're in the backyard. What a dingleberry. I mean, this guy, All right. Okay, Chad sat down near the front door and looked at the search warrant, like this man didn't know this was coming. He asked if he or his kids needed to leave. Police said they did not have to leave. His kids decided to go, and Chad went outside and got into his car to make a phone call. Wood asked what happened next. That's when the FBI arrives, and investigators marked different areas in the backyard. Hermosillo sat on the stand on Chad Daybell. He was in his driveway sitting in the car while on the phone, intently looking over his right shoulder behind him. And y'all remember this testimony in Chad's preliminary hearing. Okay, now Krisha K. Easton says Chad reviewed the search warrant as he sat in a recliner. His children sat across from Chad on the couch. The children stated they were going to leave. Chad didn't know if he was going to leave or not, but went outside to place a phone call from his vehicle. Chad's on the phone talking. The ERT and FBI teams arrived and began marking off property and setting up for task at hand. Hermosillo lists all the law enforcement agencies involved and says he assisted in the search that day. Hermosillo observed Chad while he was sitting in the driver's seat facing west. While on the phone, in right hand, was intently looking over his right shoulder, watching what was going on. So law enforcement looked to see what Chad was focused on, and Thomas objects, calling for speculation. It was sustained, but Wood is redirecting. Hermosillo asked Chad if he needed a coat. Now, see, we didn't know that. We didn't know that Hermosillo was going to offer the king there, the man who could see beyond the veil. Give me a break. Give me a break. A coat. Hermosillo says Chad was looking over his shoulder while he was in the car on the phone. Hermosillo said he looked where Chad was looking and saw the tree and pond in the backyard. Chad went outside to his car to make a call. The FBI and other law enforcement officers arrived to help execute the search warrant. On a personal note from Nate Eaton, it was around this time I received a tip that something was happening at Chad's house. Wood asks what happened next. FBI arrives and investigators mark different areas in the backyard. Hermosillo says of Chad Daybell that he, again, is sitting in his driveway on the phone. Oh, I love you, honey. What did you observe when he looked in that direction? Says Wood. And Ray Hermosillo says, I observed the tree in the pond area. Hermosillo observed activity in the pond area, and Wood said, when did that start? And Ray Hermosillo says around 9:30 a.m. Hermosillo says Chad was looking over his shoulder. I mean, this is duplicative, y'all, but then he talks about Hermosillo was assigned to sift through the area around the fire pit. While we were sifting through the fire pit, says Hermosillo, there were a lot of people going to the pond area under the tree, so we were called over to assist in that location. Cresha K. Easton on Twitter says Hermosillo is talking about everyone's tasks. Hermosillo's task was to sift through the fire pit area looking for any evidence there. Also at the pond area, and it began approximately 9 a.m. And while sifting through the fire pit, a lot of agents were going toward the pond area near the tree. So they went toward the pond area to see, and I just got a heads up that shit's about to get really graphic, so I may opt out of tweeting for obvious reasons, says Cresha K. Easton. Again, y'all, Cresha K. Easton of Difficult Research here on YouTube. She is Kay and Larry's daughter, and she was technically the aunt of JJ. Charles Vallow was her uncle. They're fixing to probably go into this, y'all. Oh, Lord. Let's see what they got here. I know it's coming up, y'all. And I don't know what they're going to say. Okay. Wood wants exhibit... hold on. Okay, let me get it. The fire pit and pond area near the tree are focal locations, per Hermosillo. Police and FBI work together to sift through these areas. Now another exhibit is handed to Hermosillo. Exhibit 10A. Wood wants it entered. Thomas objects, asking Hermosillo if he'd ever seen the aerial view of the property. Hermosillo says he walked the area and looked up. Thomas again objects, saying Ray Hermosillo doesn't have the foundation to say it is what it is. Wood says he's walking this property multiple times. It's simply to aid the jury in location of what we're discussing, and the objection from Thomas is overruled, and the exhibit will be admitted. Wood asked to admit a Google Earth image of Chad Daybell's property so the jury can have an idea of the layout. This is going back between Nate and Justin. So some of this stuff's going to be reemphasized. Some of it's going to have different wording. We see a Google Earth image of the Daybell property. Wood is confirming pieces of the property that Ray Hermosillo has described. For example, the driveway, the house, the pond, and the tree. And Ray Hermosillo, he confirms this. As Wood shows the image to the jury, Lori is taking notes and occasionally looks up at the jurors. Well, isn't that special? She gets to see the aerial photo of where her children were buried and her damn stupid ass husband's backyard because she's a nut job who is a freaking serial killer. She gets to look and see where they dug those children up out of that yard. And what is she doing? She's probably looking over there at those jurors right now going, y'all are going to send me away for the rest of my life. That's what she's got to be thinking. Because she sure as hell don't need to be looking over there and batting her eyes at them damn 10 men. Because I'll tell you, there's 8 women sitting on there right now going, how can this woman walk off and go to freaking Hawaii while her children are in the backyard over there? Stupid. Stupid. Lori's taking notes. She needs to be taking a freaking dang trip to the freaking prison cell. That's where she needs to be. So angry about it. She's sitting there seeing this, her handiwork. Hermosillo says when he went over to the tree in the pond, there was a section of shorter grass and dirt compared to the rest of the area that had longer grass. A team began excavating the section by removing the top layer of the soil. And Lori's listening to this. As they began to move the top layer of soil, it exposed 3 large rocks. At that point, there was a strong odor that through my training I knew was a decomposing body, says Hermosillo. And this woman who fought through the millennia, who was so much of a warrior. I'm a lowercase g. I'm going to help usher in the 144,000. But first, let me murder my children and let their bodies rot in my husband's backyard. Give me a break. That's what will do her in. She didn't seem concerned or even know where her minor children were, says Karen Holland. Rustin Knight says the tools blow John Pryor's raccoon theory out the door. Can raccoons swing a pickaxe or use a shovel? Great point, y'all. Did Alex get those 3 white rocks from that road down by the dump? There's something significant about the white rocks. Asked Joe Smithies or whatever. Zelda, this is my opinion. You know, I'm just throwing theory out here. I think they got those rocks from Yellowstone. That's what I think. Now, the paneling that was in there that they're fixing to talk about, that was in Chad's shed. There's matching paneling. After the rocks were removed, there were pieces of large wood paneling. The team started to brush away damp soil that was a different composition compared to the soil on the top of the ground. As the soil was being removed, police saw a black round object starting to protrude through the dirt. And let's not forget that stupid damn son of a bitch, Chad Daybell, was a grave digger in his past employments. He knew how to do it to it. This angers me every time I have to deal with this. After removing the soil, we saw a black round object protruding through the dirt. It wasn't very deep. It appeared to be texture of a plastic bag. And y'all, let's just take this in. She is sitting in that courtroom and she is seeing aerial photos of where those children's bodies were. She has already seen an opening statement, the remains of JJ in the red pajamas. And we're going to find out how he was murdered. I don't think we'll find out about Tylee, but this woman is, I honestly cannot, I hope that what could she possibly, and has anybody reported that she's starting to shed tears or put her head down or look away? Oh, hell no. It's Duper's delight. She is pathetic. As Hermosillo describes the digging of the quote-unquote burial site, he saw what looked like a body wrapped in plastic. And guess what, y'all? Jurors are taking notes. One of the jurors has his chin in his hands, intently listening. And maybe this is why Lori had to look over at the jury, because she is the mother of these children that were dug up out of that yard. How in the hell does this woman even want a juror to believe that she didn't know any of this had happened? Give me a break. Give me a break. This woman is disgusting. I'd love to beat the hell out of her. Police made a slit in the plastic and there appeared to be human hair. At this point, officers were told Chad was leaving his daughter's house across the street at a high rate of speed. Officers followed Chad, pulled him over, and he was taken into custody. Yeah, he couldn't get to his damn attorney's office fast enough. For anyone thinking that Chad Daybell was speeding off to get away from police, he wouldn't have been able to hide from any of this shit. They had they had an eye on Chad. He knew they had an eye on him. He was trying to get to Mark Means' protection as quickly as he could. Like that man could even do anything to help him. Hermosillo says Steve Daniels slit through the plastic and they saw the brown human hair. At that point, he says police were told Daybell was leaving his daughter's house speeding. His daughter lived across the street. Police caught up to Daybell and he was arrested. Eventually, Ray Hermosillo returned to the burial site. The body was photographed and removed. Authorities put the body in a black evidence bag. JJ's grandfather, Larry, is looking down, listening. A victim's advocate has her arm around him. Lori is watching Hermosillo. So Larry is in the courtroom. I thought he was couldn't listen to testimony, but he's in there now. JJ's grandfather Larry's looking down, listening. A victim's advocate has her arm around him. Lori's watching Hermosillo. She better. Wasn't it Lori and all them that said these law enforcement people were dark Canes? Give me a break. They blew her ass out of the water. Hermosillo went back to the burial site after Chad was taken into custody, and the small body wrapped in plastic was put in a body bag. It was then placed in the coroner's vehicle and driven to the morgue by the Fremont County coroner and a Fremont County deputy. Hermosillo and Detective Ball followed the vehicle and then returned back to Chad's house when the body was dropped off. And there was a reason that they had to do that, chain of custody. They had to make sure there was no stops on the way, that the evidence, and yes, JJ's little body is evidence, and so is the remains of Tylee. This is the reason why their bodies have not been released yet. There's been a question on how much longer the children's bodies will be in those freezers. Now that we don't even know, it might be till next year that that damn chin gets tried. Maybe, just maybe, John Pryor is sitting through this damn thing knowing the evidence is laid out, and when she gets convicted, that he might try to get a plea deal or something. Maybe he thinks they're going to already take the death penalty off the table since they did it for that damn hussy. After the body was dropped off, Hermosillo and Ball returned to Chad's house. Hermosillo's now pointing out on a map where the body in plastic was found and where the fire pit was. Y'all gotta wonder. These jurors must be, they you know, to hear this, some of them have never even heard of this case. Could you imagine that shit? Sitting there and hearing that opening statement from Lindsay Blake, and then all this starts to come together. I mean, it's incredible. Waiting for a refresh, y'all. Okay. Hermosillo uses a laser pointer to show us the tree where the body was found. Hermosillo points to an area known as the Pet Cemetery to the Daybell, to the Daybells. He shows us where a black dog statue was located. Also, Justin Lum is answering a question on here from someone. They're saying, do we have a cause of death for JJ and Tylee? And Justin Lum responds, we have not been told. So I'm assuming that will also have to absolutely be spelled out. Again, y'all know how I feel. I don't think they'll ever know how Tylee was murdered. Hermosillo says when he returned, the ERT was already excavating this part of the yard. Then Hermosillo walked to the pet cemetery area. The team noticed items of interest and realized they had to dig methodically around this moist section of dirt. Somebody just needs to jump over that banister and beat that woman half to death. How could she do this to her children? All right, y'all. Justin Lum is letting us know, graphic. Investigators were on their hands and knees digging. Hermosillo says they found burnt flesh and charred bones. They took turns digging because the smell was so bad, rotating every couple of minutes. Y'all, thank God for these law enforcement and forensic teams that went in here. God bless them for doing everything they could. to unearth Tylee, knowing the situation she was in. The fact that this damn hussy has to hear that Hermosillo says that her daughter smelled so bad because they were digging up burnt flesh and charred bones. Oh, I'm so angry. Yes, we know this, but gosh, y'all. Justin Lum says eventually Ray Hermosillo says they recovered bits and pieces of who they assumed was Tylee Ryan. They found pieces of bone and charred flesh. And his quote in his testimony is, globs of flesh that were falling apart. I hope Lori Daybell burns in hell. It's aggravating how this woman wants to go in there and act like she don't know what the hell went on. She's sitting there looking at her damn daughter. Eventually, we uncovered bits and pieces of Tylee, says Ray Hermosillo, whom we assumed was Tylee, that had been burned. There were pieces of bone, charred flesh, just globs of flesh that were falling apart. And I hope that Lori, I hope she has that image in her head the rest of her days. And I just hope that somehow, some way she gets hers when she gets in prison. That's my only hope at this point. She's going to get convicted. Make no mistake. We all know it. Hermosillo says this glob, G-L-O-B, appeared to be in a melted green bucket. The flesh and bone was stuffed into the bucket. The team kept digging around it. They switched with each other and got down to the bottom of the mass to ultimately lift it onto the tarp. And they need to show those photos to Lori. I mean, just show them to her so she can see them. Because God knows the victim's family members, Annie Cushing, the rest of them. I don't know if Annie, I think she's in there today. Yeah, she has a laptop. The bottom line is if they've got to have those images in their mind, Lori needs to have them in there too. At the bottom of this makeshift grave of Tylee's, authorities found a partial human skull that broke apart. They had to pick up the pieces and put all of it into a body bag. And Lori went off after all of this, y'all, to Hawaii to enjoy the sandy beaches and hopping from island to island. She got to wear her malachite wedding rings. She was seen and a picture was taken of her in a grocery store with Chin there, lovingly looking up at him on the shopping cart. Oh. Someone is asking Justin Lum, what is Lori's reaction to this testimony? And Justin Lum says she has been staring at Hermosillo this whole time. And she does. She needs to stare at Hermosillo, all right. She's looking into the face of a man that's going to freaking take her ass out. No reaction other than that. Do y'all see anyone in here? Anyone know anywhere where she's starting to shed a tear? No, of course not. No, she was too busy getting it on with old Chin there and his Johnson. Police stopped working as it was getting late, so they secured the scene with crime scene tape, and officers stood guard at the property all night. Large lights were brought in from the fire department to keep the scene illuminated all night long. The search continued the next day on June 10th of 2020. says Ray Hermosillo. By nightfall, authorities took a break. Big lights were kept on the crime scene to keep it illuminated. Now remember, I'm going between these two, so I'm trying to give y'all both perspectives. I would give anything, y'all, if I could just see the looks on those jurors' faces right now. I would do anything to see that. If there was somebody in there, somebody get a message to Crescia. When they start talking about this crazy ass stuff, I'd love for Crescia to just look straight over there at those jurors. She's a good judge of somebody's affect and everything else. They're not giving me enough information on what those jurors, I mean, y'all gotta imagine what's going through their heads. Oh, Lord, y'all. When police and FBI got back to it on the 10th, they found teeth at the bottom of the grave, too. After both sets of remains were recovered, police would take J.J. and Tylee's remains to the Ada County Coroner's Office for autopsies on June the 10th of 2020. I'm just so pissed. You would think by now, y'all would think by now that, that we would be used to this by now. But knowing that this is out here, this is in the trial, someone is asking Justin Lum, has Lori shown any emotion during these graphic pictures of her beautiful kids? And Justin Lum says, we have only heard descriptions today. No photos of this evidence shown yet. I thought they were shown in opening statements. So, but 55 seconds ago, Justin Lum says there's a sidebar going on. So we'll wait and see what that's all about. I don't know. They might be getting ready to show these photos. I don't understand why they didn't show, or at least play the body cam stuff since they talked about it. Tylee's remains were put into a body bag and taken to the morgue at Madison Memorial Hospital. Jurors are listening intently, and some are taking notes. J.J. and Tylee's remains were then taken to the Ada County Coroner's Office. There are currently no places in eastern Idaho for autopsies to be conducted, so bodies are often transported to Ada County. Okay, here we go, y'all. 10B through 10L is submitted as exhibits, and Hermosillo is reviewing the exhibits. And again, we don't know what those are yet, but we will. At least we're getting the numbers of the exhibits so that we can go back and put that all together for all of those into this research. Specifically the rays on here. So we're fixing to find out what exhibits we have coming up. Bear with me. I'm refreshing as quickly as I can. I want to thank all of y'all again for being here, going through this with me. I didn't want to do this by myself. I owed it to the Rays on here, who's been with me for over 2 years. I wanted to take the time to do what I can. Most importantly, the audio will be released again this evening, as was yesterday, which, that's a lot to take in for all of us. We'll continue to seek justice through understanding. And I want, again, to thank all of you for being here, because y'all have helped me be able to get through this, and with our support, for the victim's family members. Now, Janelle Murphy says, I think when she told Melanie that she knew exactly where JJ was, she was proud telling Melanie that, because she knew that he was not alive anymore, and she knew he was in the spirit world. Oh, Lord. Thank you, CHP. Thank you, Julie Coe. Thank you, Tom Vaughn. Rose M says, this better be a wake-up call for Chad's kids. I couldn't have said that better, because they are going to say that Lori and Alex framed their daddy. Now, let's just look at that. If this woman murdered her kids, murdered Charles and everything, and all she damn well wanted was to be with Chad Daybell, then why in the hell would she frame him with the help of Alex? How she wanted to get rid of Alex. She wanted Alex to go on with Zulema, so her and Chad could go off and find the new damn freaking, excuse my French, Guatemalan gold plates. Give me a break. Give me a break. I didn't say the full word, though, y'all. That full F word. Y'all know I'm not one to use that word very often. It just, I'm in one of these moods because they're here. It says, Hermosillo says these are photos taken at Daybell's property. Wood motions for the exhibits to be admitted. Thomas wants to voir dire with Hermosillo. What a freaking crock of shit. They're going to have to take the jury out of the courtroom, you think? Thomas has an objection for Exhibit 10E. He says he doesn't know what this is. It's just a photo of grass. Well, Thomas needs to go back to elementary pre-law 101 or whatever. That grass picture, y'all, in my opinion, is what they were describing in the probable cause affidavit of Detective Ball as the grass etching. In other words, it looked like it was a different length than all the other grass surrounding it, like it'd been put there like sod. They called it the sod etching. This is right up that dang asshole's alley, being the gravedigger he was. So Thomas has objected to this picture of grass, and Hermosillo says that this is a location where he described long grass and short grass. He points to the screen and shows us the northeast side of the tree next to the pond. And just as several of y'all have said in the comments, anytime that Thomas could get any of this evidence kept out, that's what he's going to try to do, but he ain't, he's striking out. Okay, here we go. Wood asked for photos taken from Daybell's property the day of the search to be admitted into evidence, and we're waiting on, and Thomas has got a problem with a picture of grass, and we're waiting on a ruling from the judge on this. This is the state's case, for goodness sake. Okay. So, Crescia K. Easton of Difficult Research is tweeted, this is too intense. I can't imagine. I mean, that's four words there. This is too intense. Oh, Lord, y'all pray for Crescia. Pray for her. I think they're fixing to start showing stuff. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, she's saying it's too intense. We're waiting on a ruling from the judge on the evidence. Thomas does not have much to work as a defense for her. She is so damn guilty, he has to at least try something, says Rusted Knight. Paula says, I have my patio doors open, and when KJ gets mad and starts screaming, every dog in the block starts barking. Is Crash on here? Paisley Dream says we all saw Nate Eaton's helicopter view of the body discoveries. That's what's wrong. What's wrong with some of those still pictures? No, nothing. This is Thomas wasting everybody's damn time. Judge Boyce, please pull up your britches and start overruling these nonsense objections, says Barb H1. I'm waiting, y'all. I'm still waiting for them to tell us something. I guess Thomas is trying any way that he can to keep this the graphic nature of any of this. He can't keep Ray Hermosillo from testifying over what he saw when he saw those children. So I guess what he's trying to do, I'm sure if he's got any lick of sense at all, he's going to say these pictures are too prejudicial. Well, the hell with him. This whole case is damn, it's absolutely evil. It's awful. There ain't no good way of damn doing this in order for the jury to understand how absolutely devastated these children's bodies were. Come on, y'all. Refresh. Let us know something. Okay. Come on. I'm waiting. Leaving us hanging. That's what they like to do. That's what they like to do. It's just aggravating as hell. It really is. Wanting to know, you know, and having to wait on this. And yes, we could have waited for the audio later on tonight, but here we go. We are being shown, they're showing this in the courtroom right now, y'all. The driveway in front of Daybell's house. Wood asked Hermosillo to explain what he saw Chad Daybell do in his car. Hermosillo shows us the tree where JJ was located. We can now see the fire pit where Tylee's remains were found. Hermosillo says police discovered bone fragments and teeth. So they're showing the actual, it's not just the testimony, it's also they're showing this as well, y'all. And the jurors are looking. First image shows the front of Daybell's home with a vehicle parked in the driveway. The second photo shows the fire pit where Tylee's remains were found, including burnt bone fragments and teeth. The third image shows tree where JJ's body was found buried. So these jurors are getting to see this, these bone fragments and teeth of this beautiful, beautiful young lady, Tylee. And Lori's sitting there looking at that. And I hope she gets I hope it's seared into that damn evil heart of hers. Oh, it's aggravating. Another exhibit shows a wide shot of the property backyard. Lori is resting her face on her left hand, which is also holding a tissue as she has the exhibits in front of her. Oh, isn't that special? Lori's got a tissue, y'all. Lori is wanting the jurors to see her with her left hand resting there with the tissue, and the exhibits are right there, y'all. And she wants everyone to think, oh, I'm fixing to cry. Oh, yeah. Well, they need to see. They need to see her ass on that Hawaiian beach. She's jumping up and down like a freaking cheerleader. And Chad over there with his Woody, hoisting her up like a damn cheerleader. Give me a break. Give me a break. Her and her damn crocodile tears. Give me a break. We get a look at 10E, Exhibit 10E, that shows what Hermosillo described earlier. The difference in weed growth and where the grass is longer and where it's shorter. And the significance of this, number one, is it shows that there was some planning in this. Also, this is what Thomas wanted to object to. Somebody needs to slap that man around. Get him woke up. What is Archie doing? Is he sitting there picking his nose? Archie needs to be helping Thomas understand that this is called sod etching, which proves to me premeditation. In 10F, the exhibit 10F shows the topsoil gone. Hermosillo says once it's removed, you can see the beginning of white rocks protrude through the dirt. So, folks, right now, they're actually showing the juror members how Tylee and JJ were dug up out of those shallow graves. And Lori, their mother, who's on trial for their murders and conspiracy to murder, and the fact that she wanted their money. Oh, how disgusting. (10G) shows 3 large white rocks. Hermosillo points to part of the wood paneling. The roots in the dirt were already cut, he says. So there you go. There's Chad Daybell's, his specialty, don't you know? He's a grave digger. When Chad was digging this grave, he had to dig up those roots in order to make room for that little boy's body. Can y'all imagine the evilness of that? You add the hazmat suits and the ghillie suits and the freaking Halloween mask and the knives and the axe pick and all of that, and you've got freaking serial killers. Serial killers. These people, I'm telling you. We can now see thin wood paneling. It looks like we're getting closer to more graphic images, says Justin Lum. And let me re-emphasize that the last tweet that Krisha K. Easton of Difficult Research had was, this is getting intense. And one can only imagine. One can only imagine, y'all. And yeah, Lori's got her tissue ready, don't you know? So, according to Nate Eaton, the first image shows the front of Daybell's home with a vehicle parked in the driveway. The second photo shows the fire pit where Tylee's remains were found, including burnt bone fragments and teeth. The third image shows tree where JJ's body was found buried. The fourth image shows grassy area where JJ was buried. One section has longer grass, the other area is shorter. The fifth image shows topsoil over JJ's burial site. The sixth image shows 3 large white rocks on top of wood paneling that was on top of JJ's body. And there his mother sits in the courtroom looking at this with a tissue in her hand. Somebody needs to beat that bitch to a half inch of her life. All right, y'all. The next image shows wood paneling after rocks were removed. I just keep thinking of Kay and Larry and Cresha and the rest of these victims' family members having to see this right now. I just pray for strength for them. You can't unsee this, y'all. For them, it's got to be devastating. Exhibit 10K, Hermosillo says, after seeing the crown of a head, the team cut through the black plastic and saw white plastic. They cut through it as well. He points to pieces of hair around the area. I missed a few of these. Excuse me, we'll get back to it. 10I, Exhibit 10I shows the paneling now being removed. We can see the moist soil and there's black plastic barely peeking through. 10J, you definitely see a bit more of the round black plastic. Hermosillo says it looks like the crown of a head sticking through the dirt. 10K, as I said, Hermosillo is seeing the crown of the head. The team cut through the black plastic and saw white plastic. They cut through it as well. He points to pieces of hair around the area. And it's just incredible that these serial killers did this. It's just absolutely evil as evil can be. It's just unconscionable. There was white plastic under the black plastic, says Hermosillo, and the next image shows where police cut the plastic and human hair is exposed. Y'all, this is so devastating to this family. It hurts all of us. You can imagine. Can you imagine little JJ and sweet Tylee being left like this? Oh, Lord, y'all. Exhibit 10L, the dirt is fully removed off the plastic. Hermosillo shows us the shape of a body in a plastic bag. He says JJ was removed from here. Larry bends over and is becoming emotional. He wipes his eyes, and that damn bitch, I swear, how could she do this to that family? They love JJ. They love that little boy. How could she do this? Oh, my heart is going out to Larry right now. This strong, grown man, y'all, is crying. The next image shows black plastic wrapped around a body buried in the ground. Hermosillo says he helped lift the body out of the burial site. Can you imagine that? These law enforcement, ERT, FBI, all of them having to go in here and knowing that somebody was going to have to be held responsible for this. Knowing they had to really, really do the best job they knew how to do in order to gather the evidence and all of the particulars. It's so devastating, y'all. Okay, Exhibit 10M shows the moist soil after the body of JJ was removed. They're having a brief sidebar. This is 9 seconds ago. We don't know what that brief sidebar is about. All right, y'all. The next image that is shown to the jury and everyone, including Kay, Larry, Kresha, other victims' family members, everyone in that courtroom, also the overflow room and Madison County. The next image shows moist soil after the body was removed. Hermosillo says it shows fluids from body decomposition. Nothing else was buried in the area. Lori appears to show no emotion during any of the photo presentation. Imagine that. Not even going to fake those tears, even though she's got her tissue there, huh? She shows no emotion. Why would she have any emotion? The only emotion this damn hussy has is for the fact that Chad Daybell ain't going to get to stick it to her anymore. She's not going to get to go on a Hawaiian beach and hop up and down and be the queen, the warrior, all the crazy ass crap. It all comes down to images of these children and their bodily fluids after decomposition. And this woman has no reaction, no emotion at all. Did anybody expect anything different other than the fact that this damn whore, what is a good faker, she probably faked everything she ever did, her sex life probably. She probably laid there and acted like she enjoyed it when she probably couldn't even feel it. Attorneys are now having a sidebar conference with the judge. Jurors stand to stretch their legs. It's now understandable why Kay Woodcock decided not to come this morning. We are now headed into a lunch break until 12:45. So there you go, y'all. Kay didn't want to come because she knew she would have to see that stuff. And God bless Larry. God bless Kresha. We're going into a lunch break, y'all. Just as yesterday, someone had said how anyone would have an appetite to eat lunch over seeing images such as that. It's beyond me. Beverly says, my heart breaks that the children were betrayed by their own parents. Dawn says, I knew she was never going to shed a single tear. No emotion at all because the soulless have no emotion. I'm sorry, Michael Shelton, but most people understand OKJ. Of course she's not showing emotion. They were zombies and it was her job to destroy them. Hussy, says Vanessa. Sending love and light and strength to Larry and Kresha, says Afro Human 2. Dodging Bullets says evil cannot cry real tears. Zero says demon possessed. Marvin says she must have thick skin. Yeah, I'd say she has very thick skin in other areas too. You know it. You know, well, I ain't going to go into it. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to, we'll be back here shortly. There's a lunch break. Y'all look for me. I'll be back. Again, I've got an appointment today at 3:30 my time. So I'll get as much as I can in. Be looking later on for the audio to be released of today's hearing. Also, I wasn't aware of it then, but now I'm assuming Cresha will come do her live stream on difficult research. Be sure to look at that if you haven't already. We've got a little time. We'll get back together real soon. We'll take this break. Be looking for me. I love you all and keep